There are two ways to factor quadratics, trial and error or decomposition. But today, we're not going to use either of those. So let's take a look at this example right here. We have x squared minus 8x plus 13. And if there are two solutions, so suppose x minus something times x minus something will give us our solution, or this equation right here. So we know that if there are two solutions, sum of the two solutions must be 8, because we have the negative signs right here. And our product should be 13. And in order for two numbers to have a sum of 8, their average must be 4. So let's take a look at an example. Say we have 4, choose the color. We have 4 plus 4. You know that that's equal to 8. And we have two numbers here, 1, 2. So the mean or average of these two numbers is equal to 4. Now what if we were to subtract 1 to the first 4 and then add 1 to the other 4? Well, this is 4 minus 1, that's 3, plus 4 plus 1, that's 5. So we have 3 plus 5, that's 8. And we have two numbers right here. So 8 divided by 2, that's equal to 4. Let's do one more. Suppose we were to subtract 2 to the first 4 and then add 2. Well, then we have x, or sorry, we have 2 plus 6 is equal to 8. Two numbers, 8 divided by 2, that is 4. So in order for two numbers to have a sum of 8, their average must be 4. And to get that, we have to have, let me scroll down here. So to get that, we have to get 4 minus some value. So let's let v, that looks like a u, let's let v be an unknown. We have to have 4 minus some value. We also have to have 4 plus that same value as we did up here. And if you're to think about an equation, what you do on the left, you have to do to the right. It's kind of similar to that. So 4 minus some value, and we have 4 plus some value. Those are our two solutions, because they'll have a sum of 8 since we're subtracting the same value, adding that same value. And these are just two numbers. 4 minus v, that's just some number we don't know. 4 plus v, that's some number we don't know. So if you were to multiply these, switch colors, say we were to multiply these, 4 minus v times 4 plus v. Well, since these are supposedly our two solutions, the product of these should be 13, like up here. These have a sum of 8, we know that, because they have an average of 4. And our product here is 13, which is what we have right here. If you may have already noticed that this is actually a difference of squares. This would be 16 minus v squared, which is equal to 13. That just means v squared is equal to 3, or v is equal to the plus or minus square root of 3. So let me just rewrite this down here. V is equal to the plus minus square root of 3. So we know what v is, so let's just take one of our solutions. Just suppose we have 4 minus v. 4 minus v. Now let's sub v is equal to the negative square root of 3. If that's the case, we have 4 minus negative square root of 3, which is just equal to 4 plus the square root of 3. Let's write 4 minus v over here, and let's this time sub v is equal to the positive square root of 3. Well, then we have 4 minus the square root of 3. Can't simplify that any further. So our two solutions are actually 4 plus the square root of 3, 4, and 4 minus, 4 minus the square root of 3. I know the brackets are unnecessary, but just trying to make that clear.